Every Ryan Gosling movie, ranked by critics, has taken on a range of roles, from the swoon-worthy leading man in The Notebook, 2004, to the comedic sidekick Ken in Barbie, 2023. Insider looked back on Gosling's career and ranked his filmography according to critical ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Read on to see how his movies stacked up. Note all scores were current on the date of publication and are subject to change. Films without critical scores were not included. In the suspense thriller Stay, a psychiatric patient named Henry Latham, Gosling, mistakes fiction for fact as his psychologist. Ewan McGregor attempts to save him from a spiraling psychosis. Despite the cast of top-billed actors, the psychological drama left most critics unimpressed. BBC reporter Matthew Leyland chalked it up as a little more than a head-scratching thriller. Streaming now on STARZ. In Murder by Numbers, a small town in California is rocked by a gruesome murder. Detective Cassie Mayweather, Sandra Bullock, races to connect the dots as evidence points towards local resident Richard Haywood, Gosling. Critics praised the acting performances in Murder by Numbers, but they were less enthusiastic about the story itself. Bullock is good, the script is not. Richard Roper reviewed. Rent now on Amazon. In the crime drama Gangster Squad, mob boss Mickey Cohen, Sean Penn, has 1940s Los Angeles under his thumb until his mafia is undermined by two police officers, John O'Mara, Josh Brolin, and Jerry Wooters, Gosling. Critics largely agreed that Gangster Squad had the components of a riveting mafia movie, but it floundered in execution. Gangster Squad looks the part, but it's so superficial it practically evaporates before our eyes. Tom Charity wrote for CNN. Rent now on Amazon. The United States of Leland is a drama that centers around Leland Fitzgerald Gosling, a young man who is convicted for a crime he does not remember. As he retreats within himself, a prison teacher, Don Cheadle, tries to understand his story. Despite having a stellar cast, The United States of Leland was criticized for its lack of relatable characters. Hogue spends an awful lot of time trying to get us to understand Leland and almost none trying to get us to understand his victim, wrote Chicago Reader critic Mike Irvin. Inspired by the life of Robert Durst, All Good Things follows David Gosling and Katie Marks, Kirsten Dunst, as their seemingly perfect marriage falls apart under the pressure of David's father, Frank Langella. Overall, critics felt like All Good Things was rife with interesting material but suffered from an ambling plot. There's a fascinating story here for a bolder filmmaker, but after so much meandering it's a relief that All Good Things must come to an end. Joe Williams wrote for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. In the intense thriller Only God Forgives, a drug trafficker named Julian Gosling sets off on a bloody path to avenge the death of his older brother. Visually inspired, Only God Forgives earned mixed reviews from critics who felt like the director, Nicholas Winding Refn, placed style over substance. There's no joy or folly or transcendence, wrote Wesley Morris in his review for Grantland. It's a one-dimensional video game of death, with Gosling as its star. Set in Austin, Texas, Song to Song details the relationship of four aspiring musicians: Faye, Rooney Mara, B.V., Gosling, Cook, Michael Fassbender, and Rhonda, Natalie Portman. Uniquely filmed and plotted, sometimes to a fault, Song to Song received criticism and admiration alike. There are some inspired visual flourishes, and it is a film with its own weird stamina and momentum, sometimes exasperating, sometimes mesmeric. Peter Bradshaw wrote for The Guardian. Based on the novel by Mark Greaney, this movie follows CIA agent 6 Gosling as he uncovers corruption and outruns ex-CIA agent Lloyd Hansen, Chris Evans. Despite their admiration for the fun set pieces, stunts, and cast, critics were pretty mixed in their feelings for The Gray Man. In a review for ABC Radio, Matt Neal said the action movie was an A-grade budget trying to wallpaper over a B-grade script. Based on the novel by Nicholas Sparks, The Notebook is a romantic drama about Noah Calhoun, Gosling, and Allie Hamilton, Rachel McAdams, a pair of star-crossed lovers who were kept apart because of their class differences. The story itself left something to be desired, but critics couldn't get enough of Gosling and McAdams' chemistry. The movie may be highly disposable, but the individual scenes of Gosling and McAdams just acting and just connecting are wonderful to watch. Joe Baltake wrote for the Sacramento Bee. In the documentary, My Life, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, filmmaker Liv Corfixon details the making of her husband's directorial drama, Only God Forgives, as they live and work in Thailand.